gentlemen, welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling. My name is BrendenPlayz. We are coming off the Bound for Glory pay-per-view where we saw, well, nearly our best show to date. We tied it, we got 94. Our previous best was 94 as well. We'd gotten down a few times, but once again, a 94 rated show, 23,000 nearly in attendance, and 0.52 buy rate, clearly by far smashing our best ever buy rate of the series. So it was headlined by a big match. Hassan won the TNA World Championship from Christian. The big match is, of course, Abyss beat Sting in a casket match. Samoa Joe beat AJ Styles. Goldberg made his first appearance and had a debut match against Jeff Jarrett. We got a new women's champ. Melina's the Knockouts champion now. Jeff Hardy beat Scott Steiner, and Fallen Angel retained his championship as well, the X Division against Alex Shelley, just to name a few there. But what's next? So after Bound for Glory, it is the Genesis pay-per-view, and that is currently a month away, so we've got some time to plan and build towards that. But it is an interesting one because we are coming off our WrestleMania. Essentially, Bound for Glory is the WrestleMania for TNA. It is our biggest show. Now, how do we go about this? Do we really radically change some plans? We start all new storylines? Or do we just kind of make a few changes and keep going the way we were? Now, there's a few big things that happened at Bound for Glory. For example, new champions and, of course, Goldberg debuting. We now know, of course, as well, Lashley is off to leave to MMA in less than 2 months, so we have to kind of figure out what we want to do with Lashley before he goes. So there's a few different things we've got to kind of sort and think about before we get there. In terms of storylines, we're going to start a couple of new ones. We're not going to go all out and start complete ones because I think there's still a little bit there in some of these storylines that I would like to see a little bit more of. We need to start working on our Knockouts division. We've got Melina and Gail Kim, excellent, going really, really well. But apart from them, we've got so many other knockouts that are just so low down in popularity, we have to try and get them up somehow. So that's the plan. We're going to start that. Beth Phoenix and Rebecca Knox, they're going to have a feud there. We're going to continue Abyss and Sting. Now, we are going to pull the trigger on this Abyss faction. So Kevin Thorne will be alongside Abyss, joining his side, and James Mitchell as well. So James Mitchell more of a minor role. But we're going to have this new stable come into fruition, and I think Sting's a good guy to center it around at the moment. We'd like to probably get Abyss in the tag division, but for now we'll have maybe another match against Sting, and then we'll kind of see where we're at from there. Goldberg and Jeff Jarrett has only just kind of started, so we might as well just explore that a little bit further again, maybe one more match between the two. And, you know, maybe say Jeff Jarrett comes out, cuts a promo, say it was a fluke, he wasn't prepared, he wasn't ready, and do something like that. But, yeah, we can go with that. Alex Skipper and Ron Killings, it was more of an explosion rivalry. We haven't really done too much with it yet. I don't think we have a one-on-one match yet between the two, so we'll have a couple matches between the two and Explosion over the next month or so. Maybe a blow-off match at the pay-per-view, probably unlikely. Probably won't be able to fit it on the show, but we'll do a little bit more with there. Styles and Joe had such a great match, we might as well do it again. That's what I think. We haven't had the Tanahashi and Matt Morgan match yet because, you know, Tanahashi no-showed, he wasn't able to appear on the show, so we'll have to wait and do that. We might do that on Impact this week, maybe. Melina and Gail Kim is just about ready to wrap it up, but obviously, in storyline, Gail Kim will have a rematch clause, so we might as well do that. And also, we got Awesome Kong, so we could have Awesome Kong and Melina have some matches there as well. We've got a new tag team rivalry for the championship, so America's Most Wanted won't be in contention now. We're going to have Team Canada earn their opportunity because they did beat Marufuji and Kenta. Now, the other team I was thinking and considering were Test and Albert, and A-Train, but they probably haven't done enough to realistically, they haven't really beaten any teams to earn an opportunity, so we might build towards that later on. But we'll give Team Canada a big opportunity to come up against the Dudleys and kind of hopefully boost them up and bring them up a little bit. Christian and Hassan still playing to go there. Even though they had a great match, they didn't have much chemistry there, so a little concerning, but we should be okay. And Shelly and Angel and Kazarian and Sabin, maybe we do the Fatal 4-Way the next pay-per-view. There obviously is plenty of chemistry there. We might also keep exploring that and executing it, because we haven't really done that much with it yet. There's still a little bit more to do, so we might as well, go all out and get the most we can out of these feuds before we move on. Now, in terms of signings, we have made an offer to one man, and that is Davey Richards. I think he'd be excellent for our X Division at the moment. 47 popularity, so he's just about good enough to join our roster. I think his skills are quite good, and I think he'd be pretty valuable to our roster right now. So bringing Davey Richards, Kid Cash, we did offer him a contract. I don't think he'll sign with us, but it's there if he does want to. Now, we'll have a quick look at some of the other names that are available, because we did tell you guys I wanted to bring in some new names. So there is plenty of names to bring in. Clearly, there's plenty of names, but you want to try. For our roster, it's about in-ring ability and performance. So we want to have good workers at least. We won't go for great, but we'll go for at least good. And looking around, look, there's your Brock Lesnar. Will he sign? He still won't sign with us. There's one guy, a few names, that we're thinking about. One more so in particular, but here's one as well. Chris Hero, obviously good popularity. He's ready. He's in so many different promotions though, so if we're going to sign him, you almost have to get him exclusively. You have to sign him to a written deal, because he's with so many different promotions, and he'll be too busy working in Japan and all these other different promotions. We might not be able to get him all the time. So if we're going to bring him in, we have to make him exclusive, and it's not a bad idea. Certainly not a bad idea. And the other man I wanted to sign was Claudio. So maybe we bring in Chris Hero and Cesaro, and we bring them in as the tag team. We bring in a new tag team to the roster, and we introduce them that way. Both, I think, are pretty much ready to join our roster. I think at that point where, we're not going to get them much better. Both 26 and 25, so it's a pretty good time. If you want to bring them in, this is the time. So maybe we execute it now. Maybe we go for it now, and we'll see what happens. So we could go for that. Anyone else really? Not many people. It's Drew Galloway, Eddie Edwards. Obviously with Davey Richards, you might think about Eddie Edwards, but he's not quite there yet. He's still very new, only 19, 1 year in, so he's still got a lot more developing to go, and I don't really want to be the one to develop him. I'd rather him go elsewhere and develop. El Generico, Sami Zayn, not a bad option. Still, again, more developing to go. He's not quite at his peak yet, and also he's got an injury, so he's out for 9 months. So forget about him. He's gone for 9 months, so he's not even on the table at the moment. Fergal Devitt, aka Finn Balor. Yes, again, still more developing to do, I think. He's going really well. He's in New Japan. We don't want to take away that from him. We want to just keep him developing. We'll keep a close eye on him. And when the time's right, maybe we bring him in. But I don't think right now is the time for him. And just having a quick look at some other people. Who else can we really get? Carl Anderson, not a bad option. Kota Ibushi, we can get him. Again, a lot of these guys are very young, still plenty of developing to do. Low key, he still won't join with us, so probably, another few more months, maybe, January time, we might be able to start bringing him back and think about bringing him back. So hopefully he'll do that for us and come back and work a little bit more. And, look, there's Park, aka Neville. There's a lot of good names here, no doubt about it. Lots of good names. Sheamus, Ty Dillinger. Plenty of names for us to think about bringing in, but it's just a matter of, are they at the point where they're ready to be on our roster and compete with our guys and, not be job guys. We want to bring them in to be something. So, for me, I think Chris Hero and Cesaro are there. So, we might bring them in now and we'll offer them a contract, and hopefully they'll sign a 2-year deal for each. We may as well, we'll see how they go. If they go for any better than that, we'll obviously can extend that. But 2 years for each, and we'll give them a generous offer, but we'll also keep our own interest in mind. So we'll offer both of them a deal. Cesaro currently works PWG. I think Chris Hero does as well. So we're kind of limiting our, well, I guess, is it our new developmental? I mean, what do we want to call it? We have a relationship with them. It's technically our child company, and we have control over it. So we did buy it out. So we can send people there. Davey Richards is there as well. We're signing Davey Richards to just a paper appearance still because of that. The fact that he is 23, he's still got a lot more developing to go as well. And I'd like for him to keep wrestling as much as he can. He might not get a lot of opportunities on our roster. So we'll send him away and let him keep competing. Similar to Matt Seidel at the moment, he's still going around competing all the time. Same with Roderick Strong, even though he's on our roster. They're not exclusive at the moment, so they're still competing and still, you know, developing as much as they can. So, yeah. Whilst we're here, and speaking of developing, I wanted just to show you guys a few changes in development and kind of where we're at. At that point at the moment, I think it's almost where we're reviewing the last, you know, 10 months of the show, where, you know, how far we've come. We'll probably have an official review towards, you know, at the end of the in-game year. But looking at Test, seeing where he's at, you can see he started at 58 Brawl up to 61, for example. You know, some of these skills, Aerial up to 25, he started at 20. Basics is where we need to look at, 68 to 72. Psychology is a big one, 46 to 60. Safety, 52 to 69. So Test is developing, and it's just been a slow process for him. Microphone ability going up there as well, charisma. So it's been a slow process, but it is certainly happening. Test is improving. And I wanted, the reason why I'm bringing up Test is because my idea is this. We've got Abyss and his new stable, but I'm thinking at this point, why not branch it out a little bit further and maybe add Test and A-Train to it. Two guys who are doing really nothing. And I'm just thinking I could see those two guys as, you know, I don't know, is this group going to be gothic, or is it kind of going to be, you know, evil, that type of thing? I can see those guys fitting in a way. I know you probably think, well, no. For me, I kind of see it. And I think of Test like, you know, looking at the Brood, for example, and, you know, Edge and Christian there, and they had that kind of look. I see Test as just a bigger one of them, so that's how I see that. And A-Train, well, he's played some different characters throughout the years, and he can do anything. So that's kind of where I'm at there. I wouldn't mind putting them there. The only issue with it is I wanted Abyss to be in the tag division as well, and A-Train and Test to be in the tag division, but A-Train and Test can really be the big enforcers, the dominant ones, and then Abyss, maybe he dabs into the tag division for a little bit with Kevin Thorne, but ultimately still wants to become world champion because of that popularity. That's where he's going to want to be. So at some point, Abyss will be looking to challenge for that championship again. So that's where I'm at. I'll leave it to you guys. Test and A-Train, yes or no in the Abyss faction, and what do we call the Abyss faction? I don't have a name for it yet, so if there's a name, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll pick the best one, and you know, let me know if you think they would be a good fit or not. As well as that, I mean, where we're at, I guess, you know, a few different guys kind of floundering around this mid-card, for example, Ron Killings, Rhino. We're really going to start to think of a few different things to do with him, and that just reminds me as I see his name here, Petey Williams. He's a guy that we put down developmental for quite some time, and we've brought him back. So we're going to bring him up for developmental. He spent some time down there because his skills just weren't up to scratch in comparison to the other X Division guys, and this is where he's, you know, improved. So brawling 57 to 65, you know, mat wrestling 71 to 73, chain wrestling 72 to 75. His hardcore, his Perusa, they're improving. Aerial, a lot of his stats are improving. His basics 79 to 85. Psychology, this is the big one, 55 to 71. So a lot of his stats are improving. He's getting better overall. So he's not really going to improve that much more. That, you know, maybe over time, sure, but not as rapid as it has clearly been here. So it's a good time, I think, just to bring him back and I guess kind of pick up with the Team Canada thing. He can rejoin Rude and Young there, and, you know, we'll see how he goes. it's worth a try. And then look, if he's no good still, then we can always cut him. But because I think he's got still over a year and a half left of his contract, so plenty of time still left for him. But I'm just kind of wondering, well, is what is his future? Is he good enough? So it's a good test for him there. And maybe we could do Shannon Moore and Petey Williams as a feud. Two guys who haven't really done a lot. Maybe it's a good opportunity to test themselves out. We might actually do that. So we'll go Shannon Moore versus Williams. And Shannon Moore's obviously going to turn, and he'll turn to a babyface. And it's a good opportunity for both guys to kind of prove themselves. We'll see who's better, who's performing better, and maybe we can start to push them off the back of that. But with that being said, not a lot much else to kind of look at. In terms of our developmental, bringing up some more names. Look, I don't think there's any names that I really want to bring up at this point. We are kind of lacking a little bit on the knockout side of the heels, but there's no real heels to kind of bring up at the moment, and there's no one really ready. Hernandez isn't far away, so bringing him back and having Homicide and Hernandez again as a tag team is a real possibility. It's a real possibility, and it could happen. Other than that, though, nobody else I'm kind of interested in bringing in. Seth Rollins, for example, could be excellent at the moment, but his popularity isn't there. But his ring skills isn't quite there either. It's still got some more improving to do. So the other one would be Nakamura, and he is very close. But I want to bring in Nakamura at the right time when I've got a good storyline, a good opportunity for him to come in. And there's probably not quite there for him just yet. Speaking of developmental, Mark Jindrak is currently the heavyweight champion down there. Monty Brown was originally, then Petey Williams. The next gen is still Nakamura, so when Nakamura loses that championship, that might be the right time to bring him up. And Kenny Omega and Hernandez, the tag teams. The tag teams are really weird down there. I mean, we've tried our best to keep telling them which teams we want, but they keep breaking them up. So, we say, okay, let's add the Young Bucks, for example, but then they keep sending them as inactive. We want them to be active, and we save it, and then the next week it goes away. So instead, they'd rather some weird teams to be the one. We want the Shield, we want Reigns and Rollins, and Ambrose and Reigns, but it doesn't happen. They just keep on turning them off. And the Stampede Bulldogs, look, they're 100 experience. They're a perfect team, but they keep turning them off. So that's one of the frustrations we've had in developmental, which is why you're kind of seeing some weird tag team champs, not some traditional teams, because our regular teams keep getting set as inactive, so they're not competing in the division. Raven, of course, he's gonna quit. He's had enough. So this week we'll probably let him do the honors and job out a few times just to sacrifice him to our guys, and we'll start working here with our Explosion episode, and we'll show you the results and we'll come back to it. Okay, so we started things off with Beth Phoenix. She cut a promo on Rebecca Knox. Not a great one, but a promo nonetheless. We started off the actual show, that was the pre-show. We started off the actual show with Melina and Gail Kim, and we had Melina coming out to celebrate her title win. She had a big giant cake wheeled out, even though we don't know who brought it out for her. Suddenly, Gail Kim jumps out of the cake and takes out Melina and then raises the title up high. So, there you go. So, the old cake and attack thing, and it went pretty well, 84. So, look, we might do something a little bit different there. I think a title celebration was certainly needed, and Gail Kim got the one up there on Melina. We then had Natalya and Beth Phoenix go one-on-one, and Rebecca Knox accidentally hit Natalya when she was meant to come out and distract Beth Phoenix after, Beth Phoenix talked some trash about her earlier on in the night. Natalya, 59 rated match there. She had a 62 rated performance. She didn't get the win, so Beth Phoenix got the upset win. So hopefully it doesn't affect Natalya's popularity too much, but we do want to start getting Beth Phoenix going. Alex Skipper got a promo cut on him by Ron Killings. We were going to do the Killings and Skipper match, but Skipper does have a concussion, so we might hold off on that until next week. As well as that, we had the New Age Outlaws up against Aries and Strong, and really good in-ring performances. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, mid-80s. Roderick Strong, 93. Austin Aries, 86. So, amazing match, but why only 76 rating? I guess no storylines, pretty crappy announcing. Maybe that's why. Our main event was Shannon Moore versus Petey Williams. We thought, hey, let's do it. Let's give them the big opportunity to show what they can do. And Shannon Moore, 64 rated. Petey Williams, 61. So Moore actually outshone Petey Williams there. But we did give Petey Williams the victory. You know, Petey Williams obviously being down developmental, so you want to reintroduce him with a victory. And afterwards, we had Petey Williams looking to send a message to Shannon Moore. He attacked him and put him through a table. So I guess Petey Williams kind of, you know, saying, hey, don't forget about me. I'm here to send a big message. And also, it's a way to turn Shannon Moore. So an average gimmick change. So not bad. The turn was successful. Average, will take that. 69 rated show overall. Could have been better, but we did want to give Williams and Shannon Moore the best opportunity to showcase their ability. And we might have a quick look at Shannon Moore, see if that did help his popularity out. Not too much, but it is now, you know, he's now a babyface. That will help. We are lacking a few little baby faces there in the X Division, so we've got him there, and I'm happy about that. And Petey Williams, well, he gets a nice win, and we can start to do something more with him after he's been a little bit lackluster over the last number of months and now been in developmental. So he's a chance to come back and get back in the big time. Alright, with that being said, let's get into our Impact show. So here we go. We had Taylor Wilde. We're finally going to debut her. She had a good debut. Her gimmick was rated great. So she had an in-ring performance of 43. We did give Jazz the victory. Now you're probably thinking, why did you do that? Well, we kind of need Jazz for a little bit. We still need her. She's a heel who has some decent popularity, whereas all of our women at the moment really lack it. So we might need Jazz just for a little bit longer, just, you know, while we get our other women over, essentially. 45 rated match, not a great one, but it is what it is. We started off the show. Let's try that again. Started off the show with Muhammad Hassan, who had of course, the big championship celebration. Hassan, if you know what he's about, then you know what type of celebration he would have done. Over the top, crazy, talking about how great he is, and he was taunting Christian in the process. So taunting the old champion, 100 rated segment, great way to kind of start the show off. Rhino and Michael Shane had a match. We gave Rhino the victory just to see, you know, just to give Rhino another win, and also to check up and see how they're developing, where they're at right now. So Michael Shane might need a gimmick change, so we might have to think about doing that for him. We then had James Mitchell hyping up Abyss and Sting once again. We had Kim Kong, which is Awesome Kong and Gail Kim. They had a match against Alyssa Flash and Sarita. Gail Kim's 72 rated performance, Awesome Kong 63, Alyssa Flash 64, Sarita 57. So, yeah, not too bad. We gave, obviously, Kim Kong the victory, but wanted to see where Alyssa Flash and Sarita were also at right now, and not too bad. Certainly Alyssa Flash is doing quite well, so the next babyface we might look to push, she might be one of them. Then we debuted Kevin Thorne. So Kevin Thorne is official. Apparently he debuted without a specific gimmick. I swear last time I played I gave him a gimmick, so maybe that didn't save. So yeah, that's not good. But okay. We just basically had Kevin Thorne absolutely destroy Raven, bury him essentially. Thorne 55 rated, Raven 45. I don't think it was going to be any better than that considering what type of match it was. Kevin Thorne absolutely destroyed him. And then afterwards, Kevin Thorne continued to keep on beating him up. So Raven got the nice send-off he really deserves. Then we had the Global Championship on the line. So Matt Morgan defended the championship against Tanahashi. Tanahashi 83, Matt Morgan 77. Great chemistry between the two. 84 rated match. So excellent match between the two. That was the midway point of the show. So we were meant to do that at Bound for Glory, but Tanahashi wasn't there. But still a good match between the two right there. Very tempted to give Tanahashi the belt. I really thought about it, but I think Matt Morgan is a good choice right now. And also we could give Tanahashi the win later on and keep the chase going. So we'll leave our options open. 20-minute match, so we really gave it a lot of time to try and get this match as good as it possibly could be, and it was pretty good. And afterwards, Raven, he packed his bags and said he quits TNA. He's had enough, and apparently he will never return. So we could only be so lucky. Molly Holly had a match against Sarah Del Rey. You can see it, very women-orientated show. We really wanted to kind of highlight them this week and get them going because they're really lacking. Molly Holly is 67, so she's our dependable babyface right now. Definitely Molly Holly is so valuable to us, so we need to keep her strong. Sarah Del Rey just can't get the wins because, our babyface side of things are really strong and our heel side is so weak that it's so hard to give a heel a victory. We sacrificed Natalya this week a little bit to get Beth Phoenix up, so we're going to have to do a little bit more of that. I don't want to sacrifice Molly Holly at the moment. We then had Melina taunting Gail Kim, 91 rated. That's the power of Melina's interview at the moment. She's so good, which is why she's the champion right now. So taunting Gail Kim, certainly after what happened with the cake incident, she's not happy with her at all. Then our main event, we had Jeff Jarrett versus Lashley. We gave Jeff Jarrett the victory in an 18-minute long matchup. Jeff Jarrett won just by a pinfall, roll-up, and by a pinfall. Jeff Jarrett 92 rated, Lashley 65. Lashley was tiring towards the end. Well, Lashley, if you're going to be training for MMA, you might want to get in shape. So 86 rated, good match, really good match between the two. And afterwards we had Jeff Jarrett trying to take advantage, continue to beat down Lashley, but out came Goldberg, who came in for the set. Kind of ironic that it is Lashley and Goldberg, considering the Paul Heyman factor, which hasn't been established yet. We were going to do that this week. We might save it for next. So still no Heyman, but Goldberg came out and attacked Jeff Jarrett, saving Lashley from a beatdown. 90 rated segment. Overall, 88 rated show. You cannot be disappointed with that. Very, very happy. I thought we were going to get a lot worse. I actually thought Jeff Jarrett and Lashley was going to be probably a 75, high 70 rated match. But to get 86 is a lot better than what I thought. And I'm very happy about that, I'll tell you that. So, pretty good show. And look, obviously, we're in a transitional phase with a few of the different things. We have to try and establish some new guys. Kevin Thorne, he's now made his debut, so we got that. And establishing him alongside Abyss will really help him. And like I said, really have to start working hard on the knockouts. Shannon Moore's now turned, Petey Williams is back, so a few different people coming along, a few different changes to our show. So Alex Skipper's now fully fit, so we can do that match with Truth next week. Adam Copeland and Beth Phoenix are split up. There you go. I don't even think they were dating back now, but whatever. Tanahashi needs a break. Raven is not happy with his booking. I need to get some wins. Well, Raven, I think you are gone, my friend. 4.69 rating for Impact. That is by far our best ever rating. That has gone up by an absolute mile. Wow. 4.69. That's crazy. So that's, obviously coming off Bound for Glory. That's really good. That's really, really good. So, as well as that, Chris Benoit has got a staph infection. How long is that out for? 27 days. And Rey Mysterio strained his knee ligament. How ironic is that? He'll be back in 13 days. So, a knee injury. This game really is realistic. So, that's pretty much all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. We might kind of leave it at that. And let's have a quick look at a few different things. Kevin Thorne, did he gain any popularity after destroying Raven? Not a lot, really. Maybe just a little bit. Which is, what the intentions were, trying to get Raven out of here. And, should we just fire Raven? I would like to have the satisfaction of firing Raven. After all the crap that he's given us, drugs, alcohol, whatever, it's finally happening. Raven, he's quitting anyways, but we can finally get rid of the man, and move on. Makes a few people happy at the same time. So Raven, goodbye. Raven is gone. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of TW 2016. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. See you next video.